you had a wonderful weekend. I would always ask that, and I would always say that, because I believe that once people have gone through a weekend, they are relaxed, they are more comfortable with what they're doing, and then they look forward to the whole week. Now, what have I got in today's program? I don't know whether any one of you have heard of the word Ambazonia, and that is supposed to be from southern Cameroon, one of the countries, or one region in southern Cameroon, which is trying to break away to become Ambazonia. Yeah, I pronounced it. I got that right. With me in the studio today is Ambrose Etenjeh, who is Home Affairs, who is Secretary of Home Affairs, the Federal Southern Ambazonia.
I've got right. Secretary of State for Home Affairs for the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
That's it. I got it right. Now, a brief history. Ambazonia is a region, obviously, in southern Cameroon, and there's a lot that has been going on, if you're not aware. He will explain in details most of what has gone on and why that region is trying to become another new nation in Africa, almost like Southern Sudan. Talks are going on, and they've been going on for a while. There have been, of course, a number of there's been civil war, and so on and so forth, as you will hear from him. But can Africa afford a new nation? Your guess is as good as mine. Welcome to the program once again. Could you give us a brief history of why Ambazonia why Ambazonia? Why not Southern Cameroon?
Thank you so much, Steve. We owe the name Ambazonia to one of the greatest freedom fighter, Koji Dinka.
Okay.
So he coined the name Ambazonia, and we have the Amba Bay, which is it's a bay around Victoria, which is one of our beautiful seaports, and which the Queen Victoria docked years back.
Okay.
When we were under the British. So he coined that name Ambazonian, and then that is what we want to take as a name for the new country.
Okay.
We are the former British Southern Cameroon.
Yeah.
Which, you know, the British ruled us together with Nigeria until when the failed decolonization happened.
Okay.
In 1960.
Yeah, but now, somebody listening to us or here viewing us would want to know, suddenly, if it didn't happen then, when the British were leaving Cameroon, and it's happening now that Southern Cameroon wants to become Ambazonia, why is it happening? Why?
Okay.
There could be reasons there. I mean, I can understand the Sudanese situation.
Right. Yeah, you're right. One thing I want to say is one thing which the audience should know, and which I also want to tell you is Southern Cameroon, Ambazonian, was a nation on its own.
Okay. It was a nation of its own.
Yeah, it was a nation on its own.
Yeah.
We were never part of French Cameroon.
Oh, right.
French Cameroon had its independence on the 1st of January 1960.
Okay.
Now, we had an independence which was backed by the UNGA through Resolution 1608 and Resolution 1514.
Okay.
Where 64 nations voted for that independence. And we had that, it was on the 21st of April 1961, that is 14 months after
the French Cameroon.
French Cameroon had their independence.
Yeah.
So we have internationally defined boundaries at the time of independence. And French Cameroon has their own internationally defined boundaries, as it's in, I think it's Article 4B of the African Union Charter.
Okay. Yeah. So, but then, why suddenly French Cameroon? And because from what I gathered, the history, maybe I've got it wrong, is that Southern Cameroon was asked whether it wants to remain part of Nigeria, to be part of Nigeria, or to remain part of the French-speaking Cameroon, and it chose the latter. Is that so?
So of course we made that decision. It was a conscious decision.
Okay.
That our forefathers did, because we went in as two equal states. The federalism we went in for, where we were two equal states.
Okay.
Whether we had a prime minister and they had their president of French Cameroon, which meant we had our own army and we were supposed to maintain our police and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
We were supposed to have our own country, but again, in union with
okay,
French
so
Cameroon.
you did a union, but that union was meant to be that you have your own state, just like the way Scotland is, and and England, so that there is a united kind of a United Kingdom kind of one.
Absolutely.
That's how it was meant to be.
Absolutely, that's how it was meant to be, and even the models like the Quebec model, that's what it was meant to be. But we came in with good faith, but French Cameroon came in with bad faith.
Okay.
All through the way they have been trying to work to colonize us, assimilate us, marginalize us, you know, up to the point that we've said 58 years of bondage. We must come out of this shackle and go back, restore our stolen state. That's why I would say we want to restore our independence. We want to restore our stolen state and give the dignity to our people, the freedom our people need.
Okay, now, this has been going on. You had some kind of a civil war in the country for quite some time now.
Yes.
Is what people are getting interested in. And at the time, because the choice had been not to go with Nigeria and to go with the other side. But now that the choice of being independent, can an independent Ambazonia survive?
Yes, before I get to that question, about these choices of either being with Nigeria or being with French Cameroons, that is what we consider as failed decolonization.
Okay.
When you are given a territory, like the French had their own, the British had their own, now you are given a task. Your job was to guide these people to independence.
Yeah, that's the British.
Yeah, that was their job.
Yeah, yeah.
It means that if they woefully, they must now right the wrongs.
Okay.
Because if you are given a task, lead these people to independence as you did for the Ghanaians, as you did for the Nigerians, why would you at one point say these people should gain their independence by joining A or by joining B?
Yeah.
It means you've not finished your task. So we still hinge on failed decolonization process.
But they're saying, because I made a phone call when the vice president was here. When the vice president was here. And I needed to talk to somebody from the Commonwealth, as the person did talk to the vice president, I remember, during the demonstrations a couple of months ago. It was very interesting, and say thank you very much for the invitations everywhere I went in regards to getting to know more about the region. And somebody from the Commonwealth told me that the issue now of Ambazonia is no longer a British issue, is an African issue. And the African Union and the UN are the people who are, it's no longer a British issue. So they was saying, look, they're bringing it back to us, but it's no longer our problem, it's their problem. And I tried to explain, said, look, they demonstrated outside there, because what happened in the past, mistakes were made, and you are supposed to, said, no, we are not going to go through all that. All I can assure you is that is no longer a British problem. It is an African problem. What would you say to that? I mean, I couldn't believe it.
No, it is, I just believe it is very easy to wash your hands, but in reality, they know deeply that they fail woefully to do their job. You know. And it is just something, of course, we will continue fighting for our independence, which, I mean, our resolve is there. We'll continue fighting. We're not going to give up. But the one thing is clear. Everybody knows that we are a free people. And we have that right to self-determination. So nobody can take that away from us.
Now, what is holding, because what I can see now is I see a struggle going on. And I can see that the struggle is Northern Cameroon is a big problem. He's not willing to say, this is it, let me let them go. Is there something that they're holding on to? It's make sure that Is there oil there? Is there diamond? There must be something that they are saying, look, we really can't let these people go because we are gaining something, the way the Southern Sudan issue was with the oil. Is there something there?
What I can tell you is Ambazonian, Southern Cameroon, we have a huge economic potential.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. 60% of the whole of the GDP for French Cameroon and Southern Cameroon comes from Southern Cameroon.
Oh, really? Okay.
From the oil, from we have a lot of plantations. We have banana plantation, rubber plantation, palm, and everything. We produce a lot of crops from there, which yield a lot of income. So these people, I don't think they like us as a people.
Yeah.
They like what we have.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is for 50, 80 years.
Yeah.
They have extracted our resources, our minerals. They can't even invest a penny in our area. This is sheer wickedness because before we joined them, we had a vibrant economy.
Okay.
All our businesses, institutions, like the PWD, Medino, and all the like, they have been destroyed. Look, we even had the biggest dam that could generate power even for us, the Southern Cameroonians and Nigeria.
Okay.
But they shut it down just because they want us to crumble. They want us to be beggars.
Yeah.
That is what they enjoy. So now, at this point in time, we've
had enough. You've had enough.
We have enough. 58 years.
Yeah, President Biya said once that the thing is they were called. That's what the sentence he used. That they were called for us to join, so that we join administration in a sense that if we have a Southern Cameroonian as vice president, we could have a Northern Cameroonian as president, or we could have, at one time, we could exchange in a sense that we have an administration from the south, part of the main administration of the whole of Cameroon. They called you to join into the government of the United Cameroon, and you said no. I don't know whether he's right to say that or not.
Well, one thing is very clear. I think when people like President Paul Biya, with no disrespect to him, he should understand that the problems we have today between French Cameroon and Southern Cameroon is not about
leadership,
position, and all that. They have exercised bad faith to us.
Okay.
When I look back on how many people have been slaughtered
over the years,
over 13,000. Over the years, it should be more because the human rights abuses that have been perpetrated on our people over the years is something. People live with those scars.
Yeah.
And you're asking yourself, how long is this going to go on? We have now over 500,000 refugees in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We have over 1 million internally displaced persons. Over 1 million.
In Southern Cameroon.
In Southern Cameroon. So where some of them are within the towns that are a bit safer. I mean, we have over 400 villages that have been burned by French Cameroon soldiers. The same thing that was happening with the Rohingya is the same thing that is happening with us.
Rohingya refugees in Asia. The issue of atrocities is something that I've been going through, and I've realized that it's something that will probably require a lot of variation from the international community. Because when I read a couple of French newspapers, and they are saying that, look, they are in fact even calling your administration in exile a terrorist group. Yeah, in a sense that when atrocities are committed, it's like they are saying, look, you want some of those atrocities are actually committed, but people who are loyal to the Southern Cameroon struggle, rather than the government of the French Cameroon. So there is that notion whereby we people who are neutral or who are outsiders sometimes find it difficult, because we're saying, okay, we can understand Northern Cameroon having troops everywhere, but when you hear what they're saying and then we hear what you're saying, obviously you have people on the ground who give you all the information.
Sure.
The question is, how do we verify the truth? Who is telling the truth and who's telling the lies?
I think if you do your research, I mean, lots of renowned human rights organizations have written reports, very damaging reports about the atrocities committed by the government of French Cameroon in southern Cameroon. This, we document every death in our territory.
Okay.
So there is a homepage which we call it, I can say it here, is www.Ambazonia Genocide Library.
Wow.
That means altogether AmbazoniaGenocideLibrary.com.
Yeah.
If you go there and watch it, you judge it for yourself.
Okay.
The number of people who have been callously murdered by French Cameroon soldiers.
Yeah.
We are in a militarized zone.
Okay.
Our streets, we have them littered, armor cars all over. Our children, I know lots of them will be frightened right now because they are shooting indiscriminately, and most of the people are even in the bushes. That is a problem because old women have been roasted in their own homes because they were unable to run into the bushes.
Now, my one thing which keeps bothering me sometimes, which I even want to put to the Vice President, Dr. Beer, when I interviewed him during the ceremony, was the fact that I don't know whether it can be acceptable to invite foreign troops to be guarding the southern region, because this happened in Sudan as well. To get the Commonwealth troops, for example, or to get the African troops to come in, because then if we have peacekeepers within the area, this might help to the situation. The government of Northern Cameroon, the French Cameroon, do they accept this? Because I'm sure somewhere along those lines.
Literally, I think they
won't want that.
They will not want that. We as a government, as the interim government, we've been working hard to create awareness in the international community.
Yeah, I saw that with the demonstrations, by the way.
We've been to Commonwealth, and one of pleas to them is we need troops on the ground, we need a buffer zone, a free zone, so that our children can be able to go back to school, so that our people can feel safe. It's the same thing we are expecting from the United Nations, it's the same thing we are expecting from the African Union. We hope in the days ahead, maybe they will be able to try in a way to stop the ongoing genocide in southern Cameroon, because every day we record more than 10 deaths, every single day. They are all over the place. In the northern zone, in the southern zone, in every county, they are all over. They are now constructing more military bases around
in southern Cameroon.
Southern Cameroon.
Now, the thing is, I saw the demonstration, as you're aware. Attended, went at the Commonwealth with you guys when you were demonstrating.
Thank you for coming.
We could, because I had to play hand, and saw everything that happened, and even during the speeches which were given, which were quite emotional, by the way, very emotional speeches and wonderful event that I saw. That I still have a belief that you haven't created a massive awareness on the continent, because when I try to talk to other people and other journalists, and I tell them, look, have you ever heard of Ambazonia? I said, oh, Ambazonia. I said, oh, have you ever heard of what's going on? It's like the world's media has not gone so deep the way the Southern Sudan people did, because they went so far so as to even invite us to go into Southern Sudan and actually see where these atrocities. So go in and have a look. This is where we are. This is what we live. So I have a belief that your government in exile need to create more awareness, so that events like this, for example, we are discussing it. The media stories are written to the various media outlets to make sure that we get more information in regard to this, other than just remaining probably on the website.
Actually, I'm so happy that we have people like you, Steve, who are really trying to help us create this awareness we need, especially among our brothers and sisters in Africa. I think we've been doing so much work. Is that enough? I don't know. But I just believe we have to do more. But again, I think there are a lot of media houses, especially here in the UK,
Yeah.
that intentionally do not want to report this issue. Of course, BBC, we've been there for a demonstration just because BBC it's in tax, so it's run by taxpayers' money.
It's state-controlled media powerhouse anyway.
So these are things that the British are supposed to be talking about. So they do control BBC, not to say anything about this, which is a shame, right? But the whole thing is, I'm a British citizen, and my own people, my parents are languishing in the bushes, brothers and sisters are in jail, you have people wounded and all the like. So you ask yourself, do you even care about your own citizens and their well-being? These are the types, and we have thousands and thousands of Southern Cameroonians here.
The African media powerhouses, the Nigerian ones, especially Nigerians, Ghana, and Ethiopia to a certain extent, even in Southern Africa. I think that if the shouting comes from the Africans themselves, this is what I've realized now. If there is more shouting and more awareness from the Africans, the chances are the Western world is going to listen.
I believe so. I think we making a lot of inroads into Nigeria. And we have a lot of media houses that already doing something. And even because I think they are doing this because we have a lot of refugees pouring into Nigeria. And Ghana started saying something about it because we also have refugees who are getting into Ghana. So we are hoping that we could be able to get to Kenya, get to Ethiopia, Tanzania, South Africa. But I believe South Africa too, we also creating a lot of awareness in South Africa. South Africa because of the movement of people that have really started going into the awareness is created. Now the issue of other organizations, because I just realized that they are not. It's not just your organization. It's not just the only one. Do you have various Ambazonian organizations that are also involved into the political struggle? Yes, sure. Why not make a joint kind of organization? So you've got one Ambazonian organization. Okay, one Ambazonian organization. Of course, this is a coalition of the willing. That is the most important thing. And we know fully well that we are united in purpose, which is to the freedom of our people. You're fighting the same cause. We have different opinions, So we're doing our best to make sure that we bring more people on board. But we know that the internal government has a critical mass. It's a huge number of people. That is the umbrella organization for the people of Southern Cameroon. So the other organizations are also welcome to be part of the internal government. For us to be able to fight this fight together. They are coming together anyway because with the sweetless mediation, which are ongoing right now. How far have they gone, by the way? That's something which most of us really want to learn something about, because all the steps along the way we really want to know, and each step that goes on, it's just like British exit. How are they going? You're very positive that they're going to come out very well. The talks that is. So the talks, we have had what we call the capacity building. Right? With capacity building, which is being coordinated by the Humanitarian Dialogue, which is the NGO which is mandated by the Swiss government. Well, it's the mediator in reality. So bringing the two parties, French Cameroons and the Amazonian together. So again, with that, what we call the pre-talks or the capacity building, you try to make sure that we come together under one umbrella, stand as Ambazonian against French Cameroon, which we've made a lot of progress. We brought in, I think, nearly all the unions we have. the civil society one together, and together with the interim government, which has the critical mass of everything. So we are under that umbrella, except for some few, we are still, the door is still open for them to join.
Okay.
Because all we want now is the freedom for our people. And the only thing, I think these Swiss-led talks are sincere talks in the sense that the issues that will be addressed will be able to look at the root causes of this problem.
Okay. Does this involve the French government and also the British government? Because if it's going to involve simply the two parties who are on conflict with each other, the chances that these powers behind the French and the British will always influence these talks, because I've seen this in Sudan as well.
Okay, what we know...
Especially if they're not at the table.
What we know now is the Swiss and the HD, acting as mediator, have been mandated by the European Union, the United States, Canada, and the European Union would now have the British and everybody on board. So, which is good, actually. So we are expecting that region, which we call Southern Cameroons and French Cameroons, and the whole of that region, nobody wants it to be destabilized, because the foreign powers have a lot of interest in that
in the area.
So this crisis is something everybody wants it to be resolved. And they know legally that we have a right to our sovereignty as Ambazonia, because it's our territory. You know, we are trying to restore a stolen state. You know, we are a people, it is our nation, so I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just because the naughty neighbor is so much interested in what we have that he wants to colonize us, he wants to marginalize us, he wants to assimilate us. That this can't happen with the people.
It will have to reach an end. Now, and one other issue that always comes in has always been the issue of funds, money. Money comes into all these things in a sense that interests of various people is seen through what's going on, and having to go through this with the people collection, the way I saw it, to a certain extent, I was thinking it's people's hearts are so much passionate in regards to achieving this goal, but you could find that however much you're going to raise the funds for what you want to achieve, the chances are it's like you're climbing Mount Everest without equipment. You really need that. I can see that it will take years to generate what is required in terms of bringing the people together, because you remember, people are walking miles, people have food to eat, people have, there are lots and lots of things to be done at ground zero in southern Cameroon. So how are you prepared to do the biggest fundraisers so that at least you're more independent, so that you're not on the crutches of someone else who comes in and said, I'm giving you the money, but this is what I want in return? Because it always sometimes happens in political cycles.
When it comes to funds, what we're doing is funds we generate from community mobilization. And this has come a long way to help, especially suffering people, externally displaced. But we give credit where it belongs.
Of course.
The United Nations, and through its NGOs or the different organizations it has on the ground, is doing a marvelous job. There are other foreign countries.
I saw the films, There
are other foreign countries that have sent in NGOs to be able to help our people. Without this individual, we would have already been having famine in southern Cameroon, because the troops go to the farms, cut the crops down, destroy the crops completely.
Because they want people to live in camps. It makes it easier for them.
It's a way of intimidating people that give up. That is what they want.
All right.
So they want them to die anyway. When they come and you already away, you run away. So the only thing they have is, they are your crops, your animals.
Where are you going to eat?
Where are you going to eat? They destroy it.
Are you going to survive?
So, but we are happy that the United Nations is on the ground and through its humanitarian arm, and they are doing a great job. So, as for self-defense, Caribbean indulgence, I will not be able to talk about that.
Of course.
But what I would say is we have a huge potential as a country, lots of resources.
Yeah.
Now, we are happy to talk with any multinational, any country that is ready to support Ambazonia to be able to free its people. We are ready to talk with any one of them.
Yeah.
So that is what I can assure you.
Okay.
But our resolve is we will be free.
It's sheer determination.
Yeah.
Now, I read in the, I think this question probably would have been better for Dr. What's his name? Beko. Is it Beko? Yeah.
No, Dr. Sako.
Dr. Sako, sorry, beg your pardon. It's in connection with the book he wrote in regards to, there are a couple of verses inside which are very interesting when I read it, and I was preparing myself for him to come down, but it was unfortunately he never managed to come because of the work commitments that he had, and well, it was, but I do hope that at some point in future he might come back.
Oh, sure, by the end of the year he should be here again.
Then we'll have a long chat with him, because he will have a huge brain of what to tell us in regards to the experiences he's gone through. But to come back to that question, there's a question of religion, because you talked about faith, which has helped him a lot and has helped so many people from the southern Cameroon. But what came in as a surprise to me was that there was very little talked about the Muslim faith within the region, because there are people who are Muslims as well in the southern region. Now, that brings me to the question of how are these people going to be accommodated in terms of the way they will feel marginalized as being South Cameroonians who are Muslims. Because the whole structure takes of the Christianity values and Ten Commandments and everything, but there was no Quran mentioned. So it sort of jittered me, and I thought maybe I need to ask him about what do you think could have been in his mind when he wrote the book? Because Christianity is 98.8% on the book. Everything was based on Christianity.
So what I would say is Southern Cameroons, where I lived in for many years, there's a lot of diversity when it comes to religion.
Okay.
And there are no defined boundaries of where a Muslim is, where a Catholic is, where a Presbyterian is, where full gospel. They have lots. The whole thing. That is it. That is the beauty.
Yeah. If
in a house, in a household, the father can be a Muslim
and the mother is a Christian.
The mother is a Christian. The children are not even going to the Catholic church. They are even atheists.
Yeah,
you understand? The beauty is in this struggle. We have one of our Muslim scholar, Abdul Karim.
All right.
He was arrested
I've read
last week.
Yeah, I've read about him.
And because he went to attend the pre-talks in Switzerland, was invited. This is an outspoken scholar. He would die for the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroon. The other Muslims are not different.
No, the reason why I mentioned that, if I may tell you, is because of Southern Sudan. The structure there, I bring reference to it because the Christians in the south, and there are Muslims among them as well. Now, when the struggle ended, obviously the Muslims are trying to find themselves, that now they are marginalized. When they were in the north, they were okay, but because they were blacks and Muslims, they were not, well treated in the north. So they decided to go back to the south, and in the end, they are finding themselves now with a Christian majority in southern Sudan, and it has also started causing some kind of hope. We're being left behind because of the faith we have, and others are being promoted to other areas. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking at it from that angle, where you have the 98% Christianity and about 20% Muslim. There will always be some bits and pieces of conflict.
The whole stuff is, I think the situation with South Sudan is
very different.
Is completely different.
Yeah.
Because we've grown up knowing families that are Muslims, families that are Christians, we go to the same schools,
Yeah,
we speak the
you're-
same dialect.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
neighbors. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we speak the same dialect, we do everything. So the whole thing is, I don't think we will even get to that point of trying to differentiate because of the faith.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Or maybe at one point, some certain things like tribalism may
Yeah,
come
yeah,
in,
yeah.
which
They
are
come in,
things
yeah.
that, well, if you have good governance in place, those things will be
They
kept.
won't exist. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't exist. So I think that we may worry about that, but about the religion, we have freedom of religion in our country, in southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, and then we accommodate everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Whether you go to church or you don't go to church, or whether you pray to a God, you don't pray to a God, insofar as you are there, you respect the flag, you sing the anthem,
Yeah.
you patriotic, and that's what we want.
Yeah. I like the song, by the way, and I saw the what I liked most, the patriotic songs.
Okay.
Oh God, very interesting. I don't hear I don't speak the language, but it's gosh, it brings you back to say the times when the Mandelas were in prison, and you see these Zulus singing their patriotic songs, and it would really nice to listen to them during the ceremony.
It's part of our culture as a people of Southern Cameroon. I mean, we have, it's amazing, right? We have different cultures.
Yeah.
And it's a whole diversity. Everywhere you go, whether you go to Lebialem, or you go to Kumbo, or you go to you go to Ndonga Mountain, you go to Momo, it's something different. Even within Momo, you still have different cultures.
Yeah.
So it's diversity in culture, there's diversity in the food we eat. And I think you were there in that party, you saw the different dishes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did. I saw the different.
yeah, it's just a repertoire of what we have, but we
Yeah.
do have lots of delicious dishes there. Nice people, I'm telling you. I've lived in Southern Cameroon for a pretty long time. I grew up there. Before I left, I traveled to Brazil and then traveled to Germany before I came to the United Kingdom. But I'm telling you, they are very lovely people.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you could be able to appreciate that when you attended a party which we were the fundraising we had.
I did.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So what I'm expecting is, as a new nation, there's a lot of work to be done anyway. It's not going to be a right in the park.
No.
So, but what I'm saying is, if it comes to the intellectual potential, we have great intellectual potential, especially in the diaspora.
Yeah, highly educated people. Yeah.
And you know why this happened? It's just because when you are marginalized,
Yeah.
you reach a point you think that you don't have opportunities. You need to fight.
Yeah.
We decided to travel.
Okay.
I left and I went to Brazil. I didn't care. I went there to study mathematics and computer sciences.
Yeah.
Other people left for Morocco, some left for the United States, and some left for the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So we do have, I mean, if you look at the cross section of the Ambazonians here in the diaspora,
Yeah.
the jobs they are doing.
I know.
And
I could see when the fundraising was going on.
So you just ask yourself, if these people go back there to develop their country, then, well, you remember Rwanda? That is a place I admire. How they have evolved in a short period of time.
The issue of, I spoke to a northern Cameroonian before coming to this program, not today, but when I was going to talk to the Vice President, Dr. Biko.
Okay.
One of the things, because I wanted him to hear what the northern Cameroonian fellow was talking about, and he was actually saying that he blames the French more than he blames you people from southern Cameroon. He blames the French more because it's more in their interest to leave for Cameroon to be the way it is. It's in the French interest. And besides, northern Cameroonians haven't helped themselves so much to education, for example, as one of the issues. And said, look, they have the schools there, but people just don't want to go to school, some of them. So they just want to make money and all that. It's a French kind of thing which the French have been doing in most of their colonies. And he says that's where the problem is, that is holding back. Otherwise, any other, if it had been the British, for example, they would have already said, why not? You want your independence? Go ahead. Yeah. Do you think that is the problem?
No,
education could be the key?
No, I just believe that French Cameroon is ruled by France.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
it is not actually ruled by French Cameroonians.
No.
That is why they behave the way they behave.
Of course, yeah. They know
Every decision they take,
Mm.
even the plans, because we unveiled some classified documents which they had as plans to assimilate us, to completely finish our system, our educational system, our judicial system.
Yeah.
They wanted to crumble it.
Yeah.
But again, we stood tall. We were demonstrating. That was in 2016 when the lawyers and the teachers went to the street
Yeah.
to say enough is enough. And then what happened? Then President Paul Biya, who has been there as president for over, I think it's almost 38 years.
38 years, almost 40 years.
Almost 40 years.
Mhm.
He declared war on us.
Yeah.
So if you think that we are part of you,
Yeah.
you declare war
On your own people.
on your own people.
Yeah.
It is a joke, right?
Yeah, it is.
Imagine you come to my compound,
Yeah.
you start a fight with me, you beat me up,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and even worse, you rape my daughter or even kill one of my sons, then you still expect me to be part of you.
To remain
To
part
be
of
a
you.
friend.
A friend of yours, yeah.
Come on, we
Yeah.
can just be,
No.
we can be neighbors, but sometimes, or just because of the God we pray to, we can be good neighbors.
Yeah.
And rather than saying we're going to be in one union, we cannot
No,
be
it
in
can,
one
it
union.
can never work.
Why I'm saying this is because we've lost so many people.
Yeah.
We are always put it when I go out that there is an ongoing genocide in southern Cameroon
Yeah.
that the world has turned its back to. Although after Rwanda, everybody was singing never again.
Yeah.
But it is happening.
Yeah, the
It
thing
is
is
happening.
it's like I said, the highlighting of the situation by the media is a key thing. Is a key thing, because if the media highlights the issue, it becomes it completely gets to be known. Now, we're coming towards the end of the program.
Okay.
And I attended the demonstrations, and I saw the fundraising, and I saw the kind of things that you're trying to do to bring this out to the outside world, to the Africans, because the demonstration that took place in London was here in London. The British probably would think twice. Come on, it doesn't. It's the Cameroonian. When we were demonstrating, when the demonstration took place at Downing Street, I could see the policemen with a I don't care attitude, as long as they operate. When we went to the Commonwealth, a similar thing. They were even telling us, they even called when you look at that, and I'm thinking, can this demonstration, if they are on the African continent, they can be more meaningful if we do more of them in African cities, for example. The voice becomes more bigger, because a demonstration recently about, you've seen the demonstrations here in London about climate change.
Yes.
It's directly in the center of London, directly in the center of Cabria, directly in the center of the major cities. Now the world leaders, they have started listening about climate change, because everything is in their doorstep. They are knocking on their door, say, look, we need to change. We need to get rid of plastic. The world is, it's got to be asked to do that. You've seen that, I think, the whole of this.
No, I watched it.
Now,
watching.
do you think the Southern Cameroonian could do that to African cities? Because that's where
It's a good idea, but again, you ask yourself, is this feasible?
Is it feasible?
It's not, because
Yeah.
for you to organize a demonstration, it
In
means
Nigeria,
you should have a
Nigeria.
lot of people
Yeah.
in that area.
Yeah.
So we are a bit handicapped that you can't even count a lot of Southern Cameroonians in Kenya,
Yeah.
Tanzania. But in South Africa, they do have demonstration there.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did that. So
But-
I saw some of the things there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that in other African countries, maybe in Nigeria, but in Nigeria, they can't do it because they are afraid of being arrested and sent back,
Deported back. Yeah.
deported. Because I think the president of Nigeria, Buhari, has signed a contract with
beer.
yeah,
Yeah.
to deport Southern Cameroonians who are raising their voices. So people live actually in fear. They can't be able to express themselves.
Okay.
So what we are only hoping is let them give the safe grounds for our refugees.
Okay.
But the United Nations is doing a lot of work for the refugees and protecting them.
Okay.
I hope that continues.
Okay. Now, what else do we need to know? Because
so what we need to know
less
is
than
so
2-3 minutes,
what is important for us now is again a unity in purpose for the people of Ambazonia, and we are expecting more pressure on French Cameroons by international community, so that they should be able to withdraw their troops from southern Cameroon, so that our children can finally go back to school. It's 3 years today.
Yeah.
They have been at home. How long will they be at home?
They are not going to school. The kids
They are not going to school.
Okay.
Kids are not going to school. So now, because it's not safe, because stray bullet, many have been killed by stray bullets anyway. So the only thing is, we want these people off our streets, and we want them to go back to their boundaries at independence.
Yeah.
They had their independence in 1960. We had ours in 1961. Please leave us alone. That's all we want.
Okay.
And we want the freedom of our people. And thank you so much for the awareness you are creating. For, sending this to other brothers in Africa. And I remember, if there is anybody who is ready to support Ambazonia, please give us a call. And we'll be there.
You'll be there to deal with it. Okay, you've heard it from the, what do they call it, the mouth of the what, or donkey's mouth or something like that.
Horse's mouth.
The horse's mouth, yeah, that's the right word, the horse's mouth. So I just want to say thank you very, very much for viewing us, and I do hope that we're back together next week for another edition of Africa Speaks. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Okay.